Hi, welcome to Laura's View and Tarot 2. I am so glad you're here. Today's date is Sunday, July 23rd, 2023. And today's furry co-host seems to be Chloe. She waited till just as I clicked record and up she came. Okay, well, I don't want to sound too odd, but occasionally there's an idea for a video or a tarot read, and with me the two tend to go together, that just won't let go of me. And yesterday, when I was enjoying a little free time, the phrase comfort zone came into my head and it will not go away. And I realized that I was being told that I needed to do a read and discuss comfort zones a little bit. Now, I'm going to show you a compilation that I've got. As always, that compilation will be available if you click on the Facebook link at the bottom of the video description box. But more than that, I want to just even go simpler than what I'm going to show you, and I'll share that in just a minute. First, let's look at the compilation, okay? Now, I have a couple of articles that go into some depth about comfort zones and how to leave them, the pros and cons of comfort zones. And those are, good articles, okay? And I do think that this graphic I've got here is very, very accurate. When you step out of your comfort zone, magic starts to happen. It absolutely does. I truly believe that. I've experienced it time and again in my own life. I was thinking of the anxiety I had before I made my first video. Oh my gosh. But it was still, I left my comfort zone, said, just do it the best you can. And it was one of the best decisions of my life. I recall when I got fed up with the obvious propaganda involved with the MSM. And I said, I don't care how much work it is. I'm going to find other places to find news that's more accurate, or at least gives me the option of gleaning the accuracy out of it instead of total hogwash. One of my better decisions. I'm sure you can think of a few times that you stepped out of your comfort zone too. So I want to talk about that. I'm not going to go into the popular psychology thought of what a comfort zone is. I'm just going to just point out to you, a comfort zone isn't necessarily comfortable. It's what you're accustomed to. Think about that. I know people that are so accustomed to having chaos in their life that when they get to a place of peace, they deliberately sabotage it. I know people that are so accustomed to living paycheck to paycheck and always having just that last dollar in their wallet that when they have more, even after they meet some needs that were on hold, they quickly get down to what they're accustomed to. And we do that too, whether we realize it or not. And I want the universe wanted us to kind of focus in on that. So what I'm going to do today, I want to focus on some aspects of current life that you might not actually think that you've settled into or just accepted the status quo as being a comfort zone. And one of those is the thought of politics. I think one of the reasons that I was given this nudge to talk about comfort zones is people that watch a channel like this and follow alt news, we've already accepted that there's not truth in the mainstream. We left that comfort zone and the programming that goes along with, the mainstream quite some time ago. But yet still, in the political arena, there's so much we just accept as inevitable. We accept it as customary, whether it's balloting processes, whether it's those who have positions of authority. I don't want to use the word government because that's a bespelling word. Okay, look it up, see what I mean. But that's what I'm talking about. We need to reimagine our political arena as something that's healthy, as something that's small, as something that has absolute integrity. Now, whether we can get specific in that reimagining, I think we need to do it. And I think that's what the universe is going to say. The second thing I want to look at is ascension. We've talked about ascension flu as our symptoms happen personally, as our DNA is, I believe, being slowly repaired and healed, and we are being prepared to make a jump that we can make. It's kind of like being in one of those chambers after a deep sea dive so you don't get the bends. I think that's what's going on with us. Okay. But again, there's things in the ascension arena that we are just accepting as inevitable. And I think we'll see some insights there. And then just our own personal paths, some insights about that. Because again, if you even just accept this definition that a comfort zone isn't necessarily comfortable, it's what you've grown accustomed to or told that you should be accustomed to. That may be those mental boundaries, maybe all that's holding some facets of this complicated reality together. And I think that's why we're going to be doing this read today. Okay, it's going to be a 3-layer read, 3 layers of 5 cards. The first one, going alphabetically, will be insights about our comfort zone and for ascension. Then we're going to look at politics. Okay, comfort zone for politics. And the last one is going to be for reality itself. Okay, and our interaction with it. So ascension, political, and then reality and our interaction with it ourselves. Let's see what the universe wants us to know about being in, leaving, reimagining, and taking some control over and creating new comfort zones. Let's go. We'll find out together. Again, we will be drawing 5 cards for each of those separate areas of possible comfort zone reimagining. Ascension, government, and reality, and our personal interaction with it ourselves. Card 1 is going to be basically the noun itself. Card 2 will clarify what we're seeing in card 1. Card 3 is going to talk about hidden influences, which is always interesting to see what we hear about. And then card 4 and 5 are advice to those of us listening to this video, and the possible outcome, card 5, if we heed this advice and make some changes. Should that be what's indicated? It's possible, since so many of us have already left our comfort zone just by being willing to look at content like this, that we get just told, attaboy, you're doing good. Let's find out. Okay. Line 1 for ascension. Situation. Clarified by, oh, nice. Hidden influences. Advice. Potential outcome. Okay. Government. Indicated by. Clarified by. Hidden influences. Isn't that interesting? Advice. And potential outcome. A lot of potential in the government line. Now, in reality itself and our interaction with it, we have card 1, the situation, clarified by card 2, hidden influences, card 3, advice, card 4, and potential outcome, card 5. Okay, let's look at these cards and discuss what they mean in the intuitively and as well as card elements. So on the ascension line here, the big ideas I'm getting for that is, first of all, nothing can stop what is coming. It's going to happen. We don't have to worry about forcing it. We can participate in it, and we should. Okay, we're going to be very happy if we do, although we do have to be ready to realize that not everyone is going to follow that path. There are people that are just going to choose not to ascend or to stay in a 3D reality. And that's just the way it is. Okay, now here's the elements of the cards that made me say those things. Card 1 for ascension. This card almost always means there's just simply not as much to worry about as you think there is. Card 2 telling us more, Wheel of Fortune. It never stops, never. And in our complicated reality where we're slowly being released from millennia of enslavement and deliberate dumbing down and suppressing our reality, our abilities and what have you, the ascension is going to happen, and it's going to be all for the good. Right now, this Wheel of Fortune, when it shows up, is always going somewhere that's lighter than where we're at right now. So this is a fabulous card. It's also aspected by another fabulous card, the 10 of Pentacles. This is our hidden influence card, okay? And that tells me that some of the hidden influences that's going on are our tangible reality, okay? Pentacles are tangible things. They're the earth, they're assets, they're things like that that we can actually touch, live in, walk on, things like that. So the earth is going to be making some changes that we're going to celebrate when it happens. We're absolutely going to celebrate when it happens. So the ascension, what we need to do is be doing some mental reimagining. Picture it as already almost done. Okay, be ready to wake up after a nap and have our reality be crisper, sharper, cleaner, purer, and that change to be happening in possibly that flash they talk about. But like I said, I believe there's millions of mini flashes going on so that we don't have too much of a culture shock when it happens. All right, this is a card of agreement. And both parties, neither one's giving, and it's male and female. And we've got part of our ascension process is going to be the divine masculine and feminine coming into balance. We have balance showing up here too. But again, this is our potential outcome card. So this is our advice card, just understanding that part of this ascension process is bringing the divine feminine into balance with the divine masculine so that they're healthy interaction and they support one another rather than opposing one another. It's like having two magnets that all you have to do is flip them so they work together and join together cohesively. But if you have them the other way, then they push, they pull, and they don't want to go together. This was the card that made me remind people that the ascension process is to a great extent voluntary. And some people are going to not choose to participate. They're going to remove themselves from the process one way or the other. And all we can control is ourselves. And we have some influence over our families and maybe their outlook or disposition towards it. But some of those outlooks and dispositions were already decided before they ever were born. And we have to respect that. You can't tilt at windmills, people. Okay. All right. So, and there's times that this card looks to me a little bit like tilting at windmills, but he's got things in balance. He's juggling them nicely. So there is some balance here and some understanding of that balance. Again, we got balance, things turning for the good. So ascension is a process that is going to happen. Is it comfortable? No, this is I hear that we are like the vacation destination spot for ET races because this is such a singular event. It's out of our comfort zone because we haven't done it before. But just because we haven't done it before doesn't mean we can't embrace it. Say, hey, it's new, but I want to be part of it. I think of little kids. Every once in a while, you take a kid to the pool that's never been to the pool. There's some of them that are fearful. It takes you 2 hours to coax them into getting their feet wet. And a couple others just cannonball in, so glad to see the water and be part of it and try something new. Let's do that cannonball, folks, when it comes to ascension matters. Government, look at, we got some trickiness happening here. But good things. We have some aces here, okay? The changes that are possible with our government are absolutely fabulous. We need to do some reimagining for that, is what I'm getting from this, okay? We need to, again, picture it being smaller, responsive, filled with integrity. Let's look at the government line here. Ace of Pentacles, those are practical matters. That's a fabulous card to have showing up for the government, because right now I don't think it would. This is kind of our potential thing happening here. This is a manifestation card too. we can manifest the government we want. It's within our power. All of this is. So we can manifest that. We have some choices here. This is a choose wisely card. Again, we can manifest the government we want. We don't have to accept that just because something has always been, it always will. Okay, that's getting our implied consent when we view it that way. I think it's much healthier to frame things as this may be the way it is, but it's going to be this way without my consent, either implied or explicit. Okay, and that's how I view when bad things happen. This may happen regardless, but it's happening without my consent. I'll deal with it, I'll live with it, but it's not with my consent. And that's really powerful. And it takes the power away from whatever situation is not one you consent to. Okay, our hidden influence is the devil. Need I say more? Currently, the devil is hard at work trying to make us feel like we need to be overseen. And the way it is the way it will always be. This is a card of temptations too. So there's things that come in the way here. When people currently get into elected office, they get immediately assaulted by special interests, lobbyists. It's really hard to keep your integrity. I would dare say there's maybe only one or two in each country that have done just that. And we need to understand that it doesn't have to be this way, and we can move into a time, especially as ascension continues and continues, and higher vibrations are welcomed and blossom, and lower are uncomfortable. We need to know that that inevitability is only something we're being programmed to accept. King of Cups, okay, he's very emotionally in charge of his emotions, and he can be pretty calculating. Again, so this is our advice. Again, do some calculating. Look at where the manipulations are occurring as far as government and accepting the status quo, and use your discernment. If you do, the possible outcome is fabulous. We've got the Ace of Swords here, and the Ace of Swords indicates victory and success. So again, we can leave our comfort zone. We're going to, at first, it's going to be using our imagination. What kind of government would I want? Very small, very responsive, very much integrity, you know, and people-centered. I mean, imagine it. It may be a little abstract, but you can get those big ideas in there and reimagine it and say, I'm ready to leave the comfort zone of, or the status quo of government as it is. I want my energy to go towards a reality, making manifest a government that is, and then list what your personal requirements are. Now let's look at reality itself and our interaction with it. Okay, we've got the reality itself. We've got the Queen of Pentacles, beautiful card. She's telling us that there's abundance, that our world is going to change in such fabulous ways that, yes, right now, again, we can only imagine. All right, and reminds me of that gospel song. And anyway, so we can only imagine. Okay, we can, while we're waiting, doing a little bit of waiting for our reality to change. We need to understand the hidden influence here is that justice is happening. One of the reasons that we haven't seen as much obvious change as we want, we've had to look for hints and clues and coded communications. It's because justice is on the way. Okay, and that justice very much involves making sure innocent life is protected, and that there is vengeance for those times, not revenge, but vengeance for those times when it hasn't been. Okay, it's a cosmic type of justice, and the Alliance is definitely on it. Okay, now our advice then, okay, is we're going to be happy with the changes as they roll out. We need to picture ourselves happy with those changes. Okay, I want reality to be such that money's unnecessary. Okay, that people don't have to be cajoled into helping one another. Imagine it and help make it happen, help make it manifest. You're going to be very happy with even the most tiny effort you put into leaving your comfort zone for what reality is and imagining what it could be, what you'd like it to be, where you'd like it to go. I was talking with a friend today. We'd both seen the portable door movie, and the towel that turns into a door and takes you anywhere. And yeah, I thought we are so close to having that kind of reality be true. I mean, I prayed that movie was a soft reveal of the potential for teleportation and transportation. You know, the Star Trek, they say Star Trek was always one that was kind of getting the collective conscious ready for changes that were coming. Okay, now the 10 of Swords here for our potential outcome. If you heed this advice of understanding that reality is changing, if it hasn't happened as fast as we want, a great deal of the reason is because justice is being served. Okay, and at some point it will get more obvious. All right, and that our efforts are going to pay off well if we say, and as for reality, I'd like to live in a world where boom, 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 list your requirements, make your wish list long. Be like a little greedy kid with Santa, okay, making that list. Here's what I want for reality. Here's what I want for humankind. Here's where I want for the path of humanity. And we are going to put to rest a lot of the old systems of our current reality. Things are going to change. There's going to come a time when the ships in the sky are no longer cloaked and they don't cause alarm. There's going to come a time that we see who shares this earth with us. And we don't, again, get alarmed. That we realize that our fellow man may not be 100% man, and that's okay. That's okay. Like I said, we cannot control who our parents were. We've always said that, haven't we? Well, we need to just think a little wider, and we cannot control that too if our parents ended up, knowingly or not, you know, creating hybrids. So, and just like a dog at the pound, they're a lot healthier when they're hybrids, when they're mutts. So there's some value in that too, but reality is going to be making some changes. So ascension, nothing can stop what is coming on the ascension path. Government, we have some control of reimagining it and making it into a much more healthy and successful, victorious type of situation for us. And again, I use that word just out of habit, and I need to be thinking more of representation, not for giving away my my power. So then reality itself, justice is happening. Okay, that's our hidden influence. And we have control to make some huge changes that we're going to be very, very happy with. Let's recap. I felt really nudged to talk about comfort zones and reimagining comfort zones. And so that's what this video was about. We did a 5-card in a row compare on the different aspects of where comfort zones might be and could possibly be reimagined even more than we currently do. The first one was the ascension aspect of where we are right now on this plane of existence. We were told, first of all, nothing can stop it. Okay, and there's not as much to worry about as you think you are. The process is going to continue. Now, participation in it is according to your free will to a great extent, okay, but it's going to happen regardless. And here's why I said it's going to happen regardless. The Wheel of Fortune is turning, and this is a reassuring card, just saying that any changes that happen as a result of the ascension process for Gaia, for ourselves, is going to be towards the light, towards a higher vibration and a better state of being. Our advice card, hidden influences, were the pentacles. So again, what's holding us back sometimes is some earthly matters. Okay, these are tangible things, but again, we're going to be celebrating as those changes continue to roll out and cause changes. Our advice card was this. This is a card of agreement. So again, our participation in any of these things is voluntary. We live in a free will universe that is honored. We need to be very judicious and wise about where we give our consent and agreement to. And just so again, intentionally and even voicing it, I agree to participate in an ascension process. I now, before I go to bed at night, I always say, if ascension energy, light-filled, good, kind ascension energy is headed my way, even if it's not something I'm accustomed to, as long as it's vetted by my loving creator and my higher self, I want to accept it and incorporate it within me and make a part of me, even when I'm sleeping. I wake up with bruises healed and it's amazing. So I do highly recommend that you signify, you voice your agreement, you give your consent. It's powerful. And again, just a nod that not everybody is going to, this is the outcome. Some people are going to choose differently, and we have to respect that. We might not be happy about it, but we're going to respect that. Then we were looking at government. And Ace of Pentacles showed up. This was a card indicating government. This is the potential, not where we're at. We're not at a successful spot with government with our, and again, government, it's a spelling word, government, look it up. So let's say representation. The potential is huge to have some changes, is that as we've realized that just simply because we've been accustomed to having a lot of representation of behemoth of tax grabbing, institutions and stuff, doesn't mean that we have to continue along that path. We can change and leave that path and reimagine it in a whole new way. We have lots of choices. We need to choose wisely. Absolutely. Okay. The hidden influence card, the devil. Again, the current status quo, when people get in, even with their good intentions, they are immediately given temptations and what have you. It's really hard. Very few, if any, have kept their integrity in the process as it is. We need to understand that, realize that, and not put any halos on anybody, and realize that we're living in an imperfect world. We're imperfect people, including those we give what trust we do give to. Okay, but using our emotional intelligence to assess situations, our participation and our consent for them is going to be absolutely vital. As we do and get more adept at that, again, a card of huge success with the Ace of Swords. So that was our government row. Then we got into reality and our personal interaction with reality. That got kind of interesting. Queen of Pentacles showed up. This is a card of abundance and sovereignty. So the potential for our reality is one of sovereignty. That was very reassuring for me. We were told that right now it may still feel like we're waiting for some of those changes to become more obvious, to be instituted in full. And the reason is there's still some processes of justice that are happening. That's why I say both sides are overusing the doubles, the stand-ins, the clones, the masked impersonators. They've overused that, in my opinion, but it's because the process of justice is going on. And I do believe disclosures will at some point come. I've heard that they're making sure they make analog recordings of justice proceedings, so eventually people will have that information, because we need it. You can't avoid a problem unless you understand what the problem was. And you have to understand why the remedy was what it was. Okay, the advice, just an acknowledgement that there's so much going on we can be happy about, we can be celebrating, we can put our energy towards, and nothing is going to be negative if we do. We're going to be so happy with the results. The final card then for our reality was, again, nothing can stop what's coming. The tens are endings. This current reality, this current frequency and vibration, and what we consider reality is going to change. That's inevitable, and we can be part of making the process happen faster and better with intentionally putting our energy towards saying with intention, I'm ready to leave my comfort zone, because comfort zone for me was simply what the status quo was. I'm ready to get used to something new. And one final advisory. I know this as a survivor of failed relationships. Okay. When there is a change, it feels so good once the immediate pain has kind of been cauterized. The lack of pain feels so good, it's easily mistaken for happiness. So as we have some changes happening, okay, we don't want to mistake the fact that it's somewhat better for having reached a full potential. This is great. I'm ready for more. This is great. Let's roll out the rest of it. Okay. Don't mistake a lack of pain for happiness. That's it for this video. Thank you so much for your time and attention and your patience as I go down rabbit trails and, branch out a little bit beyond current events, because I don't want to give them that much energy. Okay. Again, in many cases, they're very temporary situations. And while they're interesting, and I do enjoy following them, I want to be judicious about what energy I give to them. And I hope you do too. So again, that's why I always say, even if it's coming out of my mouth, if it doesn't fit what you believe, don't accept it. Okay. If you're getting caught up in events, absorbing them rather than just observing them, unplug for a while. Okay. Make those healthy choices to participate to the extent that you're able, and to accept as truth only what feels like it truly is to you. Okay. So until next time, I send you love and light and all things bright. Bye.